We're sitting down with Brianna to talk about HR. Sounds a bit dry, huh? Well, it's not. She is a huge firecracker, and she's about to talk to us about attracting and retaining top employees, how a brand needs to also have a brand for employment, and all the other fun stuff that comes along with being the founder of this great company. All right, thank you so much for having us.
We're so glad to have you here. Thanks for coming in.
I love your unicorn office.
Thank you. It's a very organic theme that just kind of evolved over the last few years.
I like that. Why did you get into this? Did you always expect, I mean, you went to UBC at Sauder. Did you expect to go into HR?
Never.
No?
No. So it's so funny. I never thought I would end up in HR.
Okay.
I really came out of Sauder having no idea what I wanted to do.
Okay.
I was one of those
university students,
right?
Yeah.
Totally. I was great
so
investment.
Many options,
oh my gosh.
But you're like, what do I do?
Great investment in the education, come out of it with no more idea than I went in with.
Right.
So I actually ended up receiving a job offer. I was headhunted to be a headhunter. And that was the first time that I learned our industry existed at all.
Right.
It's quite the experience.
I love that you say that, because I think so many people, like when you graduate, you have like these are the jobs, like the things you used to play when you were a kid, like firefighter, businessman, like what does that mean? So it's so fascinating when people like find out how many options there are.
It's true. It's interesting. I had no idea coming out of school what I wanted to do. Even when I was in my first job, I wasn't actually sure it was what I wanted to do.
Right.
And yes, our business is in the HR recruitment space, but I actually don't do HR.
Right.
So my role in our business is very much on the business development side.
Right.
I'm responsible for growing, building, maintaining, driving our business more so than delivering any HR consulting.
Right. And for the B2B space, so you're helping other brands and other companies
grow.
Do your thing. Yeah,
exactly. So we, as a company, so really quick elevator pitch on Envol, we are on a mission to make businesses human.
Yeah.
We are all about helping our clients build high-performing teams through 3 key service lines: recruitment, employer branding, and human resources solutions.
I love this employer branding thing because I feel like it's such a new-ish space. Like LinkedIn, I think, kind of opened this up where people had to have a desirable place to go to work. And work-life balance is not even like a thing anymore. It's like a requirement. Like, what's your take on this and how you think that?
Yeah, I think there's 2 things there. One is employer branding, which is its own beast that we could talk about for days. The other piece is the concept of work-life balance.
Right.
And that's probably the fastest one to address, which is that work-life balance means very different things to different people.
Right.
So obviously I hear our team having lots of conversations with people doing job interviews and helping them find their career path, and obviously helping companies as well. And what we often talk to candidates about is that the work and the inputs that you put into work do to a certain extent, at least at points in your career, correlate with output.
Right.
So a lot of the time that's in context of conversations around compensation. People want to
Right.
work 9 to 5 or 9 to 3 and have every other Friday off,
Right.
but they want to earn $150,000 a year.
Just not gonna happen.
It usually doesn't happen.
Right.
There's exceptions.
Of course.
But I would say
That's
for
not the
most
rule,
part,
though.
No,
Yeah.
it's very much the exception. The second piece is employer branding. And it really warrants its own conversation entirely because it's such a big field. And you're right, it's growing. Things like LinkedIn, platforms like LinkedIn have certainly helped, but I would say overall the internet and the transition from old school magazine, newspaper-based job postings to a much more digital world meant that all of a sudden there was a lot more visibility into what companies were like to work for. Defined employer branding is basically how you show up in the marketplace as an employer. So it's everything a job seeker or an employee sees, feels, hears, experiences with your brand.
Right.
When they're either looking to work for you, considering you, and or actually working for you.
Right.
So it's all those interactions. It's a beast. And
so how do you drive that? Where are the places that a corporation can actually drive their employee brand and not only recruit top talent, but keep top talent, which is the biggest kicker?
Yeah, so it's crazy. And right now it's an unprecedented market. Unemployment for a long time has been at historic lows. It's shifting a little bit right now, but it means that companies have to do a lot more to stand out and compete for talent than they've ever had to do before. Right. So your employer brand is used for 2 things predominantly. One is attraction, and then one is retention. The attraction side is actually the more obvious of the two, and it's
Right.
obviously branding, it's how you are on social media,
But it's like
your
anything
job ads.
in the marketing side. You get them in the door. How do you keep them coming back?
How do you keep them coming back? Totally, and that's
Yeah.
the retention piece.
Yeah.
So when it comes to retention and employer branding for retention, a lot of it on that side is baked into policy. So a lot of it is, how do we speak? How do we treat our people? What is our vacation policy? We call ourselves a transparent organization, but do we actually facilitate transparent dialogue? Are we actually cultivating that environment as a company? And that can be done certainly in tangible marketing oriented ways, including posters or town halls or having your values on a wall, but that does not make an employer brand. Those are just activations of an employer brand.
Right. So along with the retention piece, how do you see employers with the new, like, smarter, better educated demographics coming in? How do you see them not just retaining them with policies and like perks, but with education and career pathing and that kind of thing?
Yes, the number one reason, or one of the top 3 reasons that people leave a job is growth opportunity. So people are looking to grow, they want to develop. Nothing is worse than being stuck, stagnant, and comfortable in a job.
Right.
So you're seeing that more and more, and companies are being forced to invest in education. You're seeing that supported in Canada by federal policy around investment of upskilling and re-educating your employees. So a lot of companies are investing heavily in training and development within the organization through lunch and learns or just town halls to share subject matter expertise. But you're also seeing them invest in budgets for travel, conferences, webinars, education.
Absolutely, yeah.
A big one is tuition reimbursement, so paying people's tuition when they come to work for you. There's a lot of great things that employers are doing and getting quite creative with to help engage and develop their people.
It's really great. Well, thank you so much again for having us.
Yeah, we're so glad to have you guys here.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you were inspired by this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Broadworld's channel. Be sure you ring the bell to receive notifications each time we drop an interview from a female founder or give away branding and marketing tips to help you grow your business or your career.